in-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
Welcome back to KXAN News at Noon. Later today, we expect to hear from 2 local school districts about their plans for the fall semester. Schools all across the country, really, are scrambling to meet the needs of teachers, students, and their families. Stephanie Gosk catches us up on that debate.
As a new school year approaches, questions about COVID in the classroom are growing.
There is no way we can socially distance second graders.
While the president is pushing for a full reopening of schools across the country.
We're not going to give them money if they're not going to school.
Experts warn the one-size-fits-all approach will simply not work.
A national mandate for schools to all operate under the same approach, I think, is a major mistake.
Many school districts across the country now deciding how to reopen. The nation's second biggest school district, Los Angeles, going all online this fall. Other big cities like New York and Chicago considering a mix of remote and in-person learning.
I think the hybrid model was the best option for us because in-person instruction is extremely important.
As many school systems weigh their options and evaluate data, a large and systematic new study out of South Korea suggests kids younger than 10 spread the disease less, about half as much as adults. But children above the age of 10 can spread the virus at the same rate as adults.
Older kids, those teenagers, get infected more frequently than younger kids. And that it's something we do have to be mindful of as we bring kids back to school.
In Arizona, where COVID cases are surging, third-grade teacher Stacy Broshish is afraid of going back too soon.
We all want to be back to the classroom. That's what teachers miss more than anything, but we want them to do it safely.
Broshish has been organizing motor marches. Dozens of teachers driving painted cars, hoping to call attention to the dangers they say teachers will face if schools reopen too soon.
I don't want my third graders to have to attend my funeral. I don't want to attend one of my third graders' funerals. That is the trauma that I think people should be talking about.
There are legal concerns as well. Who is liable if people get sick? 3 national organizations that represent public school leaders have asked for legislation protecting school districts that follow all appropriate health guidelines from being sued. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
Today, Round Rock ISD will host the first in a series of virtual town halls. District leaders will talk with families about public health guidelines and safety measures when returning to school. Registration is closed for the 4 upcoming virtual town halls. However, the district does plan to live stream them all online. Today's town hall is from 5:30 to 6:30. The next one will be held on Wednesday. Today, we also expect to learn what the upcoming school year will look like in San Marcos. As it stands right now, the district may keep students out of the classroom and learning from home as much as possible. Today, the Texas Department of Emergency Management opened a new COVID-19 testing site in Pflugerville. Only 300 people will be able to get tested every day at that site, set up at the football stadium on West Pecan Street. Testing runs from 8 in the morning until noon. The Austin Convention Center downtown is set to open this week as an alternate site to take potential overflow patients from area hospitals strained by COVID-19. Patients may not be transferred to the convention center right away, though. That will depend on what the hospitals need. The 3 major hospital systems in the Austin area tell us they have not reached capacity yet, but they're getting close. In the meantime, the city is working with staffing agencies to make sure there are enough people working at the convention center. The Travis County Medical Society also has a roster of volunteers who could help with the field hospital.
So obviously, the convention center is not a hospital, and we would rather take care of everybody in the hospital. But if it becomes impossible to take care of everybody in a hospital, then there can be a location where there are the facilities and the equipment and the staff needed to provide care.
Health leaders say the field hospital will be ready as early as tomorrow. It can fit up to 1,500 patients. Right now, close to 10,000 Central Texans are battling COVID-19. The good news, close to 20,000 people have now recovered from it. We're noticing that same trend here in Travis County. There are more than 3,000 active cases shown in purple in this graph. Recoveries are almost 5 times higher. That's the green shaded area you see here. We do have a breakdown of each county in our viewing area over on our website, KXAN.com.
Now, first warning weather.
Hey, happy Monday afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Sean Kelly in the First Warning Weather Center. We continue our dry spell across the area. And now we did see a few areas that saw a couple heavy downpours or 1 or 2 showers yesterday afternoon and evening hours. Not much fell here in Austin. Officially at Camp Mabry, you saw 0. But at the airport, we did see a nice trace of rain, but still nothing to really help out our drought, our ongoing drought that continues to develop. Moderate dry conditions from land passes down to Burnett and Williamson County. Now, the good news is we're starting to see some indications here that we could see a good amount of rain heading towards the weekend. Some models are depicting that some areas could see up to 1 inch of rain. So we like that. We'd love to see that. Right now, dealing with a partly to mostly cloudy sky, a few puffy clouds out there right now, but still a great start to the afternoon. 89 degrees here in Austin, 90 in Bastrop, 91 in Llano. You factor in the mugginess and the humidity out there, and it doesn't feel too pleasant. 101 is the feel-like temperature in LaGrange, 98 in Bastrop. It feels like 99 in Giddings right now with the winds pretty light for the most part. Out of the east. A live look on the Austonian weather camera, looking fantastic out there. Again, here's a look at those clouds outside. Still a nice afternoon. Your evening plans are good to go. If they're outside, you may, especially if you're east of Austin, dodge an isolated shower or 2, although we're not seeing those pop up just yet. We're looking at highs today into the upper 90s, so still a very hot day today. We do have some relief from the heat, though, in the forecast, as well as some better rain chances. We'll talk about that coming up in First Warning Weather.
Austin police say a woman was killed early this morning after checking out a noise she heard outside her apartment window. Someone called 911 just before 3 o'clock this morning about a woman who was injured at the Dell Woods Apartments on East 51st Street. That's when officers found 58-year-old Karen Sue Hinson with severe injuries. She was taken to the hospital and later died. Investigators say a lot of people knew where Hinson lived because she was known for helping people experiencing homelessness. There's now a $1,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. A search is underway in New Jersey today for the shooter who ambushed the family of a federal judge. Her son died and her husband is still recovering in the hospital. Ann Thompson breaks down those details.
A massive manhunt is underway after a gunman shot and killed the 20-year-old son of a prominent federal judge at their New Jersey home. Her husband was also seriously injured in the attack. He is in critical condition.
My neighbors said they heard 5 or 6 gunshots happen.
A source telling WNBC that Judge Esther Salas was believed to be in the basement when it all unfolded Sunday evening and was not harmed. Her 63-year-old husband, defense attorney Mark Andrel, was shot multiple times. Their son Daniel, a college student, is believed to have been shot moments later.
He heard this shot and he ran to help his father, and that does not surprise me at all because that is the kind of family that they were.
The mayor of North Brunswick, where the family lives, confirmed the son's death. The FBI tweeted it is looking for one subject in the shooting. One highly placed source telling WNBC that the shooter was believed to be disguised as a FedEx driver. Judge Salas is the first Hispanic woman to serve on the federal bench in New Jersey. She was nominated to serve as a district court judge by former President Barack Obama in 2010 and has presided over a number of high-profile trials, including the fraud trial of former Real Housewife Teresa Giudice and her husband Joe. More recently, Salas has presided over a lawsuit brought by Deutsche Bank investors who claim the company made false and misleading statements about its anti-money laundering policies and failed to monitor high-risk customers, including convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. New Jersey U.S. Senator Bob Menendez releasing a statement which reads, "My prayers are with Judge Salas and her family, and that those responsible for this horrendous act are swiftly apprehended and brought to justice." Neighbors say police have been canvassing the area, asking them for any video that might shed light on the terrible crime.
Ann Thompson reporting there. The mayor of North Brunswick says Judge Salas faced threats in the past because of her work, but there were no noteworthy threats against her recently. A new lawsuit alleges Breonna Taylor survived for 5 minutes after police shot her during a raid at her home earlier this year. Dispatch logs show officers did not give her medical attention for more than 20 minutes. Taylor's mother is suing the 3 Louisville police officers involved. Given Taylor's injuries, though, the coroner says medical care could not have saved her life. Protests are expected again in Portland, Oregon tonight. Crowds gathered there this weekend upset after learning that unidentified federal officers arrested people protesting the death of George Floyd. Witnesses say they took video of unmarked federal agents spraying tear gas and beating back protesters.
The situation was definitely de-escalating here in the city of Portland. Federal troops came in last Saturday and they blew the whole thing up when they started attacking nonviolent demonstrators.
Those protests started at the end of May. Lots of families adjusted their vacation plans this summer, and that's taking a devastating toll on communities that normally rely on tourists. Coming up, we'll travel to the nation's water park capital for an in-depth look at the challenges caused by COVID-19.